Hey, it's Michael Saul, also known as Tiny, and this is the market video for the week of August 11th, 2014. So, let's take a look at the market. But before we do, just want to announce that the Sunday night strategy sessions will be returning next Sunday, August 17th. Join the list at stockmarkettrendsx.com. Make sure you're on that list, because I'm going to send you to another website, which will be done this week, where you'll get a chance to sign up. And it's free to sign up and attend, and the archives will be there as well. So you'll be able, if you can't make it on Sunday night, you'll be able to watch it at a later time. All right? So now let's take a look at the markets. Okay, so Friday, we had a nice day. There was talk about Russia pulling out of the Ukraine, and that the military strikes by the U.S. in Iraq, are limited, and also the Israel-Gaza conflict has calmed down, at least for the time being. So they used this as an excuse to get a rally going to end the week. Now, I don't think the pullback is over. I still don't believe the pullback is over. Doesn't matter what I think, though. It matters what the market does. Now, if you see here, we fell just shy of support. But if we can take out last week's lows, I think we're going to the 200-day moving average on the S&P 500. The Dow's already at the 200-day moving average, so if we broke last week's low, we'd be going below it. The Russell, I mean, it's really not a bear flag, because overall we're in this consolidation here, but I mean, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look bullish. We're below all the moving averages except the 10-day. You got the 50-day starting to turn over. I mean, the 200-day is kind of flat. I think if we take out, again, last week's lows, I think we're going to go to a minimum of this low down here on the Russell. Mid-caps, whoops, that's not the mid-caps. Sorry, I got to move the microphone away. The mid-caps, I think they'll take out the 200-day if we take out the lows and of last week, that is. And the NASDAQ actually looks like it's in a bull flag. So if the NASDAQ is going to play tractor beam, break out and drag the rest of the indexes with it, then, okay, then I could see a nice push. I'm still thinking 98.57 is going to get tagged by the NASDAQ before we see a significant or even any correction. Okay, right now, this is not a correction. This is a pullback in a very strong uptrend. If we test the 200-day, it will still be a pullback. Right? It will not be the level that is to be considered as a correction, which is about 10% or more. Okay, I don't think we're going into a bear market. I think even if we do get a 10% pullback, I don't even think that's going to last. I mean, maybe we can have something the size of this. I notice we're kind of looking like this a little bit here. We pull back, then we got the bounce, which is maybe what we're doing here. And then we'll see if there's more to come on the downside. Yeah, I have a strong opinion that we're going lower here. Again, on the short term, not anything more than a pullback. Doesn't mean we're gonna, and it doesn't mean I'm gonna sit there stomping my feet if we don't. Okay, I want to see what we do with last week's lows. If we hold those lows and we start trading up above those key moving averages, get above that 50-day moving average and start moving higher, well, you know what? I'm going to change my tune real quick. Gotta give the bulls the benefit of the doubt here. I just think that we were overbought for quite a while here, and price equals time, so that means that we should get more of a pullback here. Okay, but again, really easy to watch now, because you just look at last week's lows and you see if it breaks, and of course if it's sticking below there. A lot of support here, and like I said, and I will repeat myself, if the NASDAQ decides it's going to lead here and come out of this bull flag, then hey, rah-rah. Okay, the major indexes will likely go with it, and we'll see how far we get. But don't be surprised if the NASDAQ pops up a little bit, sets a trap, and then decides to pull back if the rest of the indexes are doing that, okay? Or the rest of the majors are doing that. Now, the semiconductors, they don't look great. I mean, they are a leading sector for the NASDAQ index, but as we've been seeing, right here, I mean, we really haven't been seeing the semiconductors lead the way higher since, or at least confirm the move higher since probably mid-July, or I mean, even here it made the lower high, and you can compare it to the NASDAQ here making the higher high. So the semiconductors don't have to go in order for the NASDAQ to go, but it's very unlikely that they're going to go in completely opposite directions. Banks out of that diamond formation, now below the 200-day. See if that gets any continuation. Bank of America, sloppy. JP Morgan, consolidating under the 200-day. Citigroup, sloppy. Bank of New York, did close below the 20 EMA for the first time in a while. Looks like since May. See if it can remount it and try to get something going. Broker-dealer index, not looking bad. This really isn't a bull flag. It's more just a consolidation, a little pattern in a consolidation. Goldman, nice rotation off the 50-day moving average. Let's see if it can keep going. Morgan, under the short-term moving averages, but didn't close below the 200-day. Let's look at some other stocks. Google, see if it holds the 200. If it does and the NASDAQ starts to bounce, watch that. Amazon, I was looking at Amazon to trade lower. I even sent out an email saying watch that stock. Now, it never traded below this low, so it's okay. No entry, no foul. But I'm still watching this here because if we do get a pullback, Amazon is one I definitely want to be watching for the downside. We had the big gap off of earnings and the consolidation, the little push down. Now it's consolidating again. The Apple at the 50-day moving average with a hammer. See if it gets rotation off of that. Priceline, nice consolidation at the edge of a triangle, pushed up nice and hard last Monday. Now it's consolidating. See if it can get any continuation off of that momentum spike. Potash, see if it gets a bounce off that hammer at the 200-day moving average. What else did I want to look at? I wanted to look at Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett-Packard's in a nice and steady move. I got an email. Somebody asked me to look at Hewlett-Packard. It's a nice steady uptrend here. Okay, so keep your eye on it. If the market does decide that, if I'm wrong and we're not going to get another push down, and instead we're just going to go higher here, Hewlett-Packard, it's nice and it's quote unquote mellow. Doesn't mean it can't see a push in volatility, but for now it's nice and mellow. Of course, they love to lull you to sleep. IBM held the 200-day. See if that can get a bounce here or not. Bonds, okay, bonds pushed up Friday, formed the doji. Bonds are in a really nice short-term uptrend. Okay, we have a Fibonacci retracement here. Okay, and you see that we held it on the close so far. So if we can't get above this 139.16, 139, I don't think this is an exact thing. I just like to use zones. If we can't get above that, then look for a deeper pullback, maybe down to the 50-day moving average, which could be a nice opportunity for the short side. Notes look similar. Gold, sloppy. Gold is still sloppy. A lot of people calling the death of gold. I don't see why. All right, it's not really doing anything that's super bearish here. It's holding the moving averages, but right now it's just choppy, and it needs to release one way or the other. Silver, which had been holding the 200-day, actually came down here. So I'm not really a big fan of that, but again, the moving averages are overlapping, so it's not that big of a deal. Let's look at the grains. Wheat had a nice little run last week, slammed the 50-day, now pulling back. All right, is this the first thrust that's going to lead to higher prices? We'll see. Okay, we'll see if we come out of there and we can get over the 50-day moving average. Corn, corn, okay, doesn't look as nice at all, right, hanging at the lows. And soybeans, I still think are going lower here. But again, is wheat going to lead the grains? We'll see. All right, it's important to make sure you keep wheat in mind, even when you're looking at corn and soybeans. But right now, corn and soybeans do not look like they are ready to participate in a move. Okay, sugar continues to go lower. Cocoa, somebody asked me about. Yeah, nice and strong. Still looking at pullbacks there for potential buying opportunities. Coffee had a nice push up. Now it's back to the 20 EMA. Can it get a rotation off of this? We'll see. And then we're going to finish it up with lean hogs, which is continuing to fall after this little spike high. And then there's like a spike and ledge type of pattern here. All right, so again, I think that we have more downside to be seen, not a bear market, not even a correction, okay, just a continued pullback. But I'm not going to be stubborn. I want to use last week's lows right here to watch. If I was just looking at the NASDAQ, I would say, hey, that looks bullish. Looks like it's going to, try to push out higher from here. So just pay attention right here, see which way tips its hand, and definitely don't get stuck in one way, okay? A lot of people, I'm reading a lot of people, and they're like, oh, this is just like these other typical moves. Well, these other moves had two pieces into them. Even this one, down, little relief, and then the second down. The down, the pause, the down. I think that this could be a little complex pullback as well. But again, I'm going to wait and see and watch for the evidence. Have a great trading week. Don't forget, sign up to the list to get informed when we have the Sunday night strategy session, which they're going to start up again August 17th. All right? Any questions? Tiny@stockmarkettrendsx.com. I will talk to you in the daily email or in next week's video. Have a great week.